Hi there, it's Violet here. Just thought I'd show you some quick tags that I've been painting. They probably won't be quick ultimately because this is quite a long video, but I'm going to try and cut it short. Just trying to add the audio to it at the moment. But what I'm going to do is just, I've taped up my board here. All I'm using is some acrylic art paper, and I find it nice and sturdy. So what I've done is I've just taped it to my desk and using washi tape, lovely black and white spotty. And I thought I'll just do it in the guise of tags so that I can very quickly race over it and do some watercolour images with my acrylic paint. I do use the Chroma Josonia paints for all my work, and because they're so light fast and they'll last, pretty much the colours will be vibrant forever. They don't fade, so that's why I use them. But as you can see, I'm just putting a bit of an outline on the roses here, and just want to quickly dab them in because they're my shabby style roses. They're not perfect and they're not correct botanically, as you will see. It's just really an artistic view of what appears to be a rose, and I'm making some lovely tags. So I'm just using a gorgeous rose pink here, lots of water on my brush. This is a filbert brush, and going across, as you can see, just painting the 5 tags across. I'm going to be doing some Waratah tags in a minute, but I thought I'd do the roses first and finish them and work my way down the board. So yeah, I've just added a little bit of naphthol crimson to the brush, a little bit more paint than I wanted to, but yeah, it works out okay. There's no mistakes really. It's just a very quick thrown together kind of flower, and yeah, I put more water on my brush here and there. As you can see, I go a little bit overboard on some of them, but ultimately when it's finished you'll see that it's a flower and it has the appearance of a rose. Yeah, doing them very quickly. As you can see, dibby dab. I thought I'd change the brush and just get a smaller round brush rather than the filbert now that I've laid in the groundwork for the base. Just quickly putting little dashes here and there, trying to go round from the centre and just around, just to make it look like a bunch of petals. And yeah, there's no right or wrong way. This is just the way that I'm doing them today. Sometimes I do them a little bit differently. I take a little bit more time with them. But because these are tags, and they're going to be lovely art tags when they're finished, and I might even put them on my website for sale as like a set of 4 or 5 or something anyway. But they're a hand-painted, beautiful little item that you can either use in your journals or use as a gift tag, something just a little bit more special than a purchase tag that isn't hand-painted. Yeah, going a little bit crazy here with uh, red, the darker red, which is, I think it's permanent alizarin, or let me just double check that. Um, no, it's naphthol crimson, so it's a little bit darker, just going shade darker for the centre. What I plan to do is outline these in a black pen, which is a waterproof pen, and it's a precision pen, they're called, and it's a number 8, or 03 actually, not 08. It's a 03 I've used when I actually get to doing the outline. What I plan to do again is when I'm finished, you can see the shape of the tag there, each one of them. I'll remove the tape and then I will very quickly draw lines around the edge of each of the tags with the pen that I'll be using, and just to outline them a little bit, make them a little funky looking, and perhaps put some holes in them and make them real tags, but I think I might leave some without the holes in them just in case. I might sell some and people want to use them in their journals rather than as an actual tag. So I know this is taking a little while because I'm doing 5 at once, but normally if I did one, it wouldn't take quite so long. So I'll just, just leave it, stop talking for a minute so you can just watch. Plan on just using some green in a minute, some olive green with a little bit of gold, and just to doody-dar it up a bit, look a little bit special. I'm trying to make it watery looking, and even though it's quite dark at the moment, it'll become, when it dries, it'll fade a little bit. But it'll just look like a lovely tag, and you'll see the outline of the tag apart from the pen, because I'm going to be putting some watercolour gold and green and splattering and all kinds of crazy stuff on it. And so really enjoying doing this. It's such a beautiful day here in Adelaide. It's got a lovely breeze, and all the preparations are getting sorted out for Christmas Day, and not going all out this year. I just think, it's it's another day, but it's a lovely day when your family typically come and spend some time with you. So looking forward to that. Just splattering a little bit of paint here. I tried to splatter it, and I thought, oh, hang on a minute, it's not running enough. So it was a little bit of hard work, harder than it should be anyway. So just put a little bit more water on my brush in a minute and get some real splatters going. And so a little bit of the red, a little bit of green, a little bit of gold, and I think it just fills out the shape of the tag and adds a little bit of interest. You can actually put some stamping on as well if you've got some writing stamps or other stamps that you like. If you're going to have a go at these, I suggest you do. It's good fun and relaxing, and you can just create what you will. You can just put beautiful colours in and swirls, and it'll still look gorgeous once you take the tape off. It'll look like a lovely tag. Yeah, apologies for the shadow of my head there as I'm painting. Just a little bit annoying, that dark shadow there, and I don't have any extra lights on in my office today. I just have the overhead light, which is quite bright, but having the shadow cast can be a little bit of a pest. So sorry about that. I'm just placing some olive green mixed with a little bit of yellow, which is Turner's yellow, just to brighten it up a little bit, because as I said, it does fade a bit. It won't be quite as loud looking once it's finished. There's dibby dab here and there, and just filling in for colour. And even though they're tags, it's still a special thing to give somebody. You could probably give a gift set of tags, for someone who is a giver, who likes to give gifts. That might be a nice gift for them, to actually receive something a little bit more special and hand painted. So I'm just popping some gold in here just for interest. Do a few gold leaves and make a little bit of watery mix, and do a bit of spatter and a tick, and it just looks a little bit interesting. I'm quite happy with the way it's looking at the moment, even though it doesn't quite look like a rose. It still will be somewhat looking like a rose when it's finished. So I've made a few videos, and this is the first one I put up for, a long time now, been pretty caught up. My mother-in-law dear has come to live with us, so it's been an interesting year, and not doing the things that I normally do, and I'm a soap maker also, so I haven't even made some soap for the last 10 months, which is terrible because I love doing it. Don't get the time to do it, unfortunately. But trying to get this splatter off, and it's not working because I need some more water on my brush. It takes time to learn these things. You just think, what is going on? And then realise it's really not watery enough. So we'll get it going. There you go. Bit of splatter. I did some of these the other day without videoing, and what I did was I put down a little bit of a wash of gold in the corners of each of the tags, and it looks quite nice. It outlines the tag shape once the tape's removed, and even though I draw with the pen, it still makes a nice outline so that it's not stark white in the background. So yeah, you could do that first if you so desire. Today I've just put the rose down without doing the wash first. Quite often when I did my oil paintings, I used to put a wash down over the white canvas, and it really does make a difference. We were taught that in primary school. So yeah, okay, so plodding along here. I'll stop talking for a little bit and just let you watch until I do the outline. Yeah, I'm just putting a little wash of Payne's Grey in here, and just to add a little bit of extra interest so it's not just all red and green. And there's a tiny touch of the grey. Payne's Grey is a really beautiful dark blue looking colour until you water it down, and then you see how grey it is, and it makes a wonderful shading colour as well. If you add it to any other paint, it'll make a beautiful darker tone of that paint. If I add it to the red tone, it'll make sort of like a violet or a really deep purple. So it's just, yeah, really great colour to have in your kit. Today I'm just using it as a little bit of a wash around the roses. There we go. Okay, so now this actually has to dry, and before I can use the pen on it. The pen's just been sitting around for a little bit, so I'll just see if I can get a mark out of it here. No, not working. Okay, just yeah. So while these are drying, I've just done a little hand drawn daisy down the side in the corner there, but I'm just going to pop a little bit of extra colour around the edges of the roses here, because the initial colour was very watery and it just faded into the background, which is fine, not a problem. I just wanted to brighten it up a little bit, have it, because this will dry and it'll dry a little bit lighter. Oh, as the paper soaks in, it'll just take a little bit to dry, and then I can put the pen over top of it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do some waratahs. I love waratahs and I love painting them. These are very, very thrown together sort of things. They're not my normal appearance of my waratah, but I just thought I would get some shape put in here with the red, and you'll see what it looks like in a minute anyway. I've just dibby-dabbed a little bit just to keep the light in, so it's not all dark red all over. It's not like a ball of red. It's giving a little bit of shape to it. So yeah, just dabbing with the filbert brush, and this will take a little bit of time, so bear with me, and yeah, hopefully you won't be getting too bored just while we're waiting for the roses to dry. They're just very quickly done. I never do these quick because I usually take my time with them. 2 years ago, I painted Christmas cards with waratahs. Gee, they were beautiful, and I've actually got a picture of the waratah that I painted. It was a watercolour, and when I say watercolour, I use acrylic paint and I make them look like a watercolour when I use them. Not always, but in certain instances I do. And so what I've done is I've put my beautiful painting up and I've made a jigsaw out of it as a printable So yeah, I have them printed through Printify, and they're really gorgeous jigsaws. So my artworks are all become jigsaws now, just something that's a little bit useful for people, and really good to do. I love doing the 1,000 piece jigsaws. I've just finished a William Morris design, and oh my goodness, it was a marathon. My daughter and I both had a go at it, and it was wonderful to do, but gee, it took us 4 months nearly to complete it. And you won't believe it, once it was complete, there was an actual piece missing. And I knew there was before we finished it, because I looked for this particular piece for about 2 hours one day, digging through just to try and fit it into the slot where it should have gone. And would you believe, at the end of it, I was absolutely correct. The piece was missing. So yeah, my husband had bought it for me as a gift, and so he got on to the people that he purchased it through, and just advised them that there was a piece missing, and asked what we could do about it, whether we could get another piece or something. I don't know what he thought we could do. So they gave him a credit, and he's bought me another jigsaw, which is fantastic. So I'm going to frame that jigsaw, and I'm going to leave the piece out because I don't have it, and it'll be a talking point. So there you go. Yeah, as I'm painting along here, just doing these very quickly, doing a bit of an outline as to what I'm going to paint in, and then I'll draw. So I might, go quickly through this section, and hopefully the roses will be ready to go in a minute. They'll be drying. I think they're drying pretty well at the moment. Yeah, just dibby dab here. And I probably don't have to do the dabbing, but I like it because it's giving it a little bit of texture. You'll see what I mean once I start to draw them in. It just brings a little bit of texture to the finished picture. It's a little bit of a slow process because I'm doing 5 in a row. If I was doing one, I'd probably be half finished by now. Yeah, I'm just going to start doing a little bit of shading on the edge of the Waratah. Usually to the left I'll put some shading. It looks like I'm doing it to the right, but you'll see I'm going to be doing the shading on all of them in a minute with the darker hue. This will be permanent alizarin when I get to it. It'll fit in with the beauty of this particular hue, but it'll just give a little bit more depth to the appearance of the flower. And get carried away doing all the dabbing. Probably not necessary. And we're going to go with the green, with the olive again in a minute, and I'll leave a little bit of the permanent alizarin on my brush so that when the green is put down, it will look a little bit of a red, brown, green. So I'll have a touch of the red hue in the brush as well. It just ties it in. And I'm going to spatter this one as well. I've just got a thing for spattering. I think it just adds a little bit of interest to the painting. All right, here we go. Just add a little bit of shading on the one side, just to give it its shape. You can see the shape starts to take place now. It doesn't look quite so flat. I'll go darker in a minute. I usually like to build up the colour gradually so it's not, all done at once. I'm not a watercolourist. I just use acrylics, and I love watercolour. I have used watercolours, but I find acrylic is so much easier to work with and a little bit more control with it. Depends on how much water you use, obviously, because the more water, the less control. And I like to be in control. I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to my paintings, and I like to to see how I'm going to have the outcome. Yeah, just mosey along. I need to put a little bit more water on my brush and tone down some of that heavy paint there. Are you bored yet? I hope you're not. What else have you got to do? You on holidays for Christmas? Could leave a comment. Have you been doing any craft or anything like that? Just get on and watch others do it. Or you like to have a go yourself? I like to have a go at everything. I'm just quite incredibly inquisitive, and I think, oh, well, maybe I can do that. To the point where, I was watching some nail videos, and I've been to the nail, I don't know what you call it, manicure centre or whatever, and they charge $45 just to have your nails done. I thought, you know what, I could probably do this. So rather than pay the $45, I bought the gear and started doing my own nails, and they turn out okay. And I'm happy about that because it costs too much to have them done all the time. I had them done years ago when my daughter was married. I swore I'd never have them done again because I thought it ruined my nails. But I haven't got good nails to start with. Isn't it awful? We try to be fake and make ourselves look beautiful. And anyway, so put some little petals in around the edges of the waratahs. Sometimes when you see the waratahs in the wild, the petals will be hanging down a little bit. Sometimes they'll still be closed up around the bowl of the flower. But yeah, I like to do mine both up and down. So I'm putting some colour in here. Leave a little bit of the background there, so I've got a little bit of shape still. I'm not overdoing it. Looks like a little bit of a process line, and I suppose that's what it is. But I figure, if I'm going to do a few of these, I'll do them all at once. And while I'm in the swing of doing them, it's much easier just to keep going and doing 5 of them instead of 1. Okay, so I've darkened that shade there, shading it. I've put a little bit of Payne's Grey with it, with a permanent alizarin. It's really taken it down to quite a dark hue. Giving it a little bit more shape. Again, this will dry a little bit lighter anyway. Typically, I'll need to put some more water with that. Yeah, I think a little bit more water. I'll be getting back to the roses in a minute, as soon as these are finished. Might just go through them quickly in a tick, and just so that I can get this video done, in the sense of it not being too long for you, although I think we've probably gone past that already. All my videos are long, and I really don't start out to mean them to be long, but it's just the way it goes. Just adding a little bit more water just to soften some of that dark paint. Can be a little bit heavy-handed sometimes and doesn't help. And you can always paint over something if you don't like it, but when I do these, I think, they just end up being the way they are. Don't typically paint over my stuff, but if you're not happy with them, you could. It's only paper after all. It's a little bit of time, which is probably the most valuable. But yeah, I mean, they are what they are, and it's art, isn't it? artistic license. So I'm just going to put some green in for the leaf. Waratahs are just such a beautiful, stately flower. They're the New South Wales floral emblem in Australia. And you're just putting the outlines. I'll do them all similar. That way, it'll be easy for me. And see how loosely I'm holding the brush. I'm just painting very loosely. I think it's probably one of the hardest things to do is to just, be pretty free and easy with the brush. We like to put the paint down and make it perfect, and being light-handed, giving it a light touch is not as easy as you might think, especially if you're like me and you like to control things, especially when you're doing your art. See, I'm making them very similar. They're not the same, but you'll see what I do to them in a minute. When I put the outline in, it makes it look really good. Okay, nearly there. I think the roses are nearly dry. Acrylic doesn't take long to dry, which is great. That's why I love it. Oil takes days for me. When I've done my oil paintings, they just take days to dry, which is it's good if you want to do things slowly. But I like to get my work done when I start. I like to finish it. You just do some more splattering here. I've just got the green on the brush at the moment with quite a bit of water. I think I learned a little bit from the last one. I'll put some gold in as well. It just spunkies it up a little bit. Going a little bit overboard, possibly. Oh well. My painting, I suppose. Do what I like with it. But yeah, it's good to just be free and easy and make it look very cool. That's my computer. I might actually just move on to the next one, and you can just see when I actually finish splattering here, I'll just go straight into showing you what I do as far as the outlining of them go. I've cut along the edges of the paper, and I'm going to cut these out in a minute, but these are just the roses, so I'm just outlining the edge of around the rose. You'll see it a little bit easier in a minute. Just following the contours of the fake petals just all around. It'll separate it from the leaf and just pop it out a little bit. So yeah, all I do is just go around the edge of the petals and do the centre. It makes it a little bit darker towards the centre with the pen in there. And just go ahead and do all of these. Do a little bit of jagged edge around the leaf, as you can see on the first one there. I don't do it perfectly. I do it very scribbly. I find that this is a cool way to do it. It just, it's easy to do. You don't have to be an artist to do this. Just follow each of the lines around. You can see I've outlined the edge of each of the tags after taking off the strip and of washi tape, just outlining around the edge of the tags, and I'll cut these out in a minute.